There's nothing quite like hunting a place that is home to you. You know, the place where you have your first hunting memory. Well, for Cameron Haynes, that is his home state of Oregon. Now, Oregon is also home to the Roosevelt elk, one of the 6 original subspecies, and the largest bodied of the remaining 4. So Cam, you're up, and we're counting on you to show us how to close the deal in your home state.
Peeking over the edge of this unit here. We're here in Oregon on the Coast Range, and this is typically what you'll encounter is a lot of morning fog. This is a logging clear-cut unit where they cut the timber, haul it out, replant it, and when it comes back up after 4 or 5 years, that's when it's the prime feed for the deer, elk, bear, so they'll be out here feeding. This is what I grew up doing right here. This is it. This is Western Oregon elk hunting for big Roosevelt bulls, and I'm pumped. My connection with this hunt for this species goes back to my very first days bow hunting. A Roosevelt bull was my first ever bow hunting trophy, and you know, it wasn't your typical trophy. It was a spike bull, but that was monumental to me. First animal I ever got in the ground with a bow and arrow. There's a calf up here feeding along the road. I doubt if a little calf's by itself, so we're gonna sneak up here, see if the herd's here, and see if there's a big old bull with them. This is early in the rut. They will call if you get them fired up, but at this point in the season, it's a lot of times spot and stalk is your best option. There's a lot of road access because of all the logging. So to kill them, you got to be really good at spot and stalk hunting. Killed most of the bulls of my career, spot and stalk with the calls in my pocket. What happened is that calf was the last time I heard up on the road. It rubbed into this timber here, right here, probably, 130 yards worth of bull. He wasn't bugling, but he's breaking stuff up. We're gonna ease down off the end of this, get to that landing there, take a peek over. We're thinking the whole herd's bedded in that tall timber there. Being logging country, you hunt a lot of reprod. In the logging industry type term, it's just reproducing the trees. 4 to 5 years old is where it's premium, prime habitat for deer and elk, where they can go and bed to, or the older timber. And so they have everything they need right there. Good feed, cover, of course there's a lot of water. We set up here using this tree as a good backdrop. A lot of guys set up behind things, and then a bull comes in, they can't shoot because they're fighting the tree. So we're gonna let our camo do his job. I'm gonna set up in front of this. Excitement and get elk all wound up just from calling where they normally would just be docile and not doing anything. You get them all fired up and turn them into a rutting bull. We had, my buddy Jody Sear, who grew up hunting here. He knows these elk, so we had him calling for one day. He had to get back to work, and we were going to try to get in and do some work on them, get the wind right, and see what happened. Spotted some cows on the edge of the timber, and then a bull ripped off a bugle. And sometimes it's better off to call them in right now early. As they get fired up, they feel like they can go gather a bunch of cows before all the other bulls do. So we'll see what happens. Give it a shot. We got our first bugle of the year, and it seems to be in a pretty killable spot, so we're gonna try and call the sucker in. Closer. He sounds good. I'll try to pull him all the way back. Okay. He gave up his position. That allowed us to really hone in, get where we wanted to get. coming hot. God, I wish this was better. You gotta expect a bull's gonna come every time. That bull came in on a line. Jody said, we're on the backside, we're pulling into our laps, and he will be in our laps because we can't see anything. You got him. Come on. The setup has just sucked. I mean, it was a small little meadow. There's no area to shoot. I had about 15 yards one way and about 10 yards the other, so I could only cover 25 yards. Let's go. He's 13 yards. He's right on the other side of this stuff. I just had a bad feeling about that line of brush, and it frickin' screwed us. It's not every day you have a monster Roosevelt like that at 13 yards, and it didn't happen, and that was tough. Here's an elk highway. We didn't notice when we set up. He came right in on this trail, then the whole herd came right on this trail. And we're set up on the other side of this brush wall. You know, hindsight's always 20/20, but you do have to, we gotta be smarter. That's all there is to it. In Oregon, they say success rate on elk is 10% with a bow. With that in mind, my goal is always to be the very best bow hunter I can be. And in my mind, that takes a lot of physical and mental conditioning. I push myself physically to test myself mentally and think it's all gonna pay off here in the mountains.
You really kind of find out who you are as a person when you push yourself really hard and what you're made of. And it's just in his DNA to do that. He is a great worker at his other job. He's a really good dad, and he loves his kids, and he comes home, he wants to be home with the kids every day, so it's hard for him to go away. He's just a regular guy that works really hard.
I love it, love every minute of it. If I couldn't give 100%, I wouldn't want to give any. These elk, growing up in this country, every kid dreams of killing a big bull. You know, a big 6x6 bull is just what you think about every day, especially during elk season. I couldn't afford to get an elk tag when I was a kid, so I had to wait till I was 19 because they were like 25 bucks. And I tried to go to college and elk hunted the first 18 days of school and had to drop all my classes because I never went. I had to kill a bull and kill a spiked bull, but it's powerful stuff. It's what we live for sure. I was able to hunt this particular property last year, and there was legend of a giant bull that everybody kind of knew as a ranch bull. He ran this property, is I guess how it was perceived. He's an old bull, 12 or 13 years old, big old 6x6. So basically we're looking for one bull, the ranch bull, over 25,000 acres, and it's essentially a needle in a haystack. We ended up somehow, some way, on I think the 5th day of the hunt, getting the ranch bull in a big stand of timber, and we could hear him bugling. We knew he had his herd pulled up in there about 2 p.m. Jody was running the camera, and lo and behold, after the needle in the haystack search for the ranch bull, here he came, and he was bellowing, and he was fired up. He came down a line of mature timber, paused for a second, Knew something was wrong, spun to leave, and as he spun to leave, he hesitated again at 33 yards. And with Jody right to my left by my side, I got an arrow into him at 33. Walking up to the ranch bull, after seeing him go down from an arrow released from my bow, was accumulation of 23, 24 years of dreams. And every single day I've thought about killing a bull like that in this country, the country I grew up as a boy bow hunting, and it happened.
Sometimes I guess you get lucky or you earn your luck or whatever happens and you get a chance at a bull like this, and then it's up to you to do what it takes to get it on the ground.
I don't know if I'll ever top it. Day 2 here in Oregon, Western Oregon on Trophy Roosevelt, and we had a good day yesterday. We're looking to top it today by getting a big bull on the ground. Got a little fog laid up in the hills here, but it's high enough where we can still glass these lower units. No bugles still, but we're gonna hope to entice one to get into bow range one way or another. Either we stalk them or call them in. We'll see what happens. After day 1 with that experience, we said our goodbyes to Jody, had to get back, and kind of figured in my head I was gonna try a little spot and stalk action, and I expected I'd probably have a little longer shot. I expected it'd be tough. What I wanted to find for day 2 was a big bull by itself. We snuck over, looked, just as what we would have hoped, spotted a big bull. He was all by himself, feeding, and he was a good one. Big black horn bull, and so now it was game on. I want that bull to get down to the bottom there, where he can't see us. We're gonna have to go over to the left here, see what he does. We kept easing down that sharp spine ridge, heading down to him, and as we got closer and closer, I was trying to play the wind, check, see where his travel path is gonna take him. If he keeps going up that range, uphill, we can get right down here. I wanna get to this stump about 30 yards away. And if he keeps coming uphill, he'll be in bow range here in just a minute. If the wind stays, everything's good. We gotta get on this backside of this ridge. I was glassing, had an arrow knocked, looking straight below us, wind coming up in our face. Everything was playing into our hands. Now we just needed a break to give us a shot. And now I just needed to do one of the most difficult things there is with the camera and a bow, I think, to do, and that is get a big bull Roosevelt down on film. You're not only trying to make the shot with the bow, but you're trying to check to see if, the cameraman has it. You got a big bull elk who could care less about any of that. All they're caring about is staying alive. And you're trying to be your very best as the ultimate predator with a lot of other factors playing into it. That is very tough.
Wait, I lost him. He's gone.
I had a black stump picked out just right of the bull. We got to that black stump. It looked like it opened up. I said, I can take him there. When the bull stepped into a little clear opening where his vitals were exposed, I stopped him. Ready? Bull. and there was nothing. And I was really perplexed with that because it wasn't acting like anything I'd experienced before. You know, if it's a bad shot in a Mount Vital, he would eventually come out the bottom. A miss, of course, he would have kept going. A nick, he would have kept going. The only thing that would have kept him there is, you know, riding the goodies. And he's got to be dying, but, you know, God, this part drove me crazy. Should be right here. Oh man, what a bull. I cannot wait to see this dude. Oh, spot and stock, baby. I've killed, oh my gosh, look at this thing. Look at this thing. Holy smokes. It all worked out and I had killed just an awesome Roosevelt bull on film. Big Pope and Young, essentially a 5x5. He's got a lot of little nubs here and there. Just a classic Oregon Roosevelt, big Western on the coast bull. That bull I killed last year, we estimated at 1,200 pounds, and this one, he's not that big. I mean, he's probably a five-year-old bull, but he's a horse. He wasn't the ranch bull, but to me, I could care less.
You know, I always talk about Cam's preparation going into these hunts. It's relentless, and he understands better than anyone what it takes to make it happen. Look, the proof is his punch tags year after year. Congrats, Cam, on not only this year's bull, but last year's also. It's pretty amazing. I hope all of you enjoyed this week's episode, and until next week, I'm Brandon Bates reminding you that hunting is conservation.